there's only a 1% chance. Try to make those shine best when you're creating something. Hey everyone, it's Rui. In today's vlog, I will be finally finishing up my minigame number 2. It was a long time coming. As always, I'll be sharing with you guys the journey of adding the final finishing touches to my game. And I'll also be sharing my reflections, learnings, and my thoughts on what's coming up next now that I finished my game. But before I roll that footage, guys, we hit 10K. We are 10K strong on this channel now. It's honestly kind of surreal to me that I have kind of an audience and there are people that are interested in hearing about my thoughts and my experiences. It's a very crazy thing to me and I'm super grateful for it, so thank you. And with that, let's wrap up minigame number 2. We're back at the desk. Yesterday, I finally got to working on the leaves that I wanted to implement for my game. This is not my cat, it's my sister's cat. Dang, she's mogging the camera. So the whole point of my game is that I have a tree that drops different types of leaves of various rarities. And this is gonna be my first time implementing a system like this, where there's like different rarities for items. So I'm excited to figure that out. I did spend some time behind the scenes just working on creating a decent system for keeping track of what leaves have been collected. I know that the side of my game development process that I mostly show on my channel is heavier on the artistic side, but I do obviously do a lot of stuff behind the scenes working on the code side. And I know that some of y'all are interested in learning more about learning to code. So I do try to include what I think are like the more interesting tidbits of that side. But for the most part, I just feel like the artistic side is obviously more visually interesting and also more intuitive for a lot of people to understand what's going on. Even if you don't have expertise, you can just kind of see what's going on. So that's one reason why I'm more heavily documenting the visual development of my game. Another reason why, with this being my second practice game that I'm making, I'm starting to learn more about myself when it comes to making a game. And something that I've learned is that I do feel much more confident in the design aspects of the game. I guess it makes sense since that's been my main discipline for the past few years. And so my first instinct so far when it comes to deciding what kind of game I want to make, I find myself drawn to making games that are very simple when it comes to the mechanics, but design and visual elements play a big role. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Actually, I think it's a good thing to be aware of your strengths and try to make those shine best when you're creating something. When it comes to working on the mechanics, I think I'll continue to try to have very simple but effective mechanics in games. I don't think that mechanics have to be complex for them to be good. It's very interesting because I've wanted to learn both Blender, like 3D modeling in general, and game dev for so long. Honestly, ever since I learned that those things exist, which was maybe back in like high school. I honestly don't even remember. But it always felt so daunting and out of reach. It's only when I started learning both of them together in conjunction that I really got enough motivation to actually learn both of them. Like that's what finally got me to start learning Blender, is because I wanted to make a character and I wanted to make things so that I can put it in a video game. And with game dev, I tried to start using Godot, which is the game engine I'm using, like over a year ago. I tried to do 2D, but obviously I did not stick around for long and I kind of gave up. But once I started learning Blender and my imagination started going off about all the 3D games that I could be making, I think that's what really pushed me to start learning game dev, like for real, and stick with it. I don't know, there's just something about 3D that I really like. And speaking of 3D, on my last video, a lot of y'all were very curious about how I was using Blender on my iPad. Girl, when I found out that I could do that, I was excited too. So the way I do it is, because I'm running Blender on a MacBook, I'm able to use a built-in feature on my laptop called screen mirroring. So I'm running Blender on my MacBook, but I'm just dragging that into my iPad to be able to use my Apple Pencil. I only switch over to using my iPad for Blender when I'm drawing things in texture paint mode, because I would never be able to draw a straight line or a circle using my computer mouse. That'll be very frustrating to try to do. So I only do hand-drawn details on my iPad. Otherwise, modeling and UV editing and everything else, it makes sense to use keyboard and mouse for that. Today, I'm super excited because I'll finally be finishing up the work on the leaves for this game. And this is probably the last big thing that I need to implement in this game. So we're getting really close to finishing the game. Let's get to work. Okay, so I set up a system for assigning a color to a leaf. So I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but I was too lazy to look at a video or anything. So I just kind of guessed. And what I came up with is I'm choosing a random number between 0 and 100. And based on that number, I choose the leaf color. For example, if the number is between 0 and 20, then you get the common red type of leaf. And I decided to make the rarest leaf super rare, so there's only a 1% chance of getting it. Basically, if you have a 100-sided die, you have to roll 100, a perfect 100 to get the rarest type of leaf. And the good news is that it's working. But the bad news is that you can't tell that it's working very well because, well, every time a new leaf spawns, all the other leaves adopt the same color. They all change color together. They all share one brain cell, these leaves. Well, this happened with the placeholder too, when I had just the green and orange peas instead of leaves. So I kind of remember how I fixed this. Okay, I fixed it. We have different leaf colors going on. Maybe it's a little hard to see the difference between the colors. It's coming together. I also spent a lot of time putting together this piece of UI over here. Now when I pick up a leaf, you can see it here. You can also delete it from your basket. Now I deliberately made 9 different types of leaves because that's the size of the basket. So my idea was that some people might want to try and collect one of every type of leaf. Now I want to wait around to see if I can get the rarest type leaf. I collected every type except for the rarest leaf, just waiting for it to drop. As you can see, I also have the leaves disappear after a set amount of time, just so that it doesn't get too crowded. At the same time, I have new leaves constantly spawning as well. So you have a constant rotation of leaves. The leaves that you leave on the floor because you don't want to pick them up, they'll go away eventually, and you'll have opportunities to pick up different types of leaves. Honestly, I thought this game would be super mind-numbingly boring, which is mean to say of my own game, but like, hey, I wasn't trying to make a good game, I was just trying to make a game. So I set my expectations low, but now it's got me sitting here with a little bit of suspense in my heart, trying to complete my leaf collection. I gotta catch them all. Wow, it's so hard to get the rarest leaf. That 1% chance is no joke. I'm such a simple creature. Us humans, we're such simple creatures, and I love that about us. It happened, guys. It happened. The rarest leaf. I was straight up just sitting here staring at the screen waiting for it. Here we go. Oh my gosh. My collection's complete. I am now on a mission to make a basket full of only the rarest leaves. I just need one more to complete the collection. It's here. Yes. Well, I did it. At what cost? The final thing that I'd like to add is some particle effects. So it looks like leaves are falling from this tree. I don't exactly remember how to do particle effects, so give me a minute to figure that out. Disappear so quickly. Guys, I finished my game. I finally did it. It's a long time coming. Let me do a little walkthrough of my final product here. So this is my game. I have my little guy here, and she's just a girl who likes picking up leaves. I have these leaves that are spawning from the ground. The idea is that they're falling from the tree, as is hopefully made a little clear by the particles that are falling from the tree. You click on a leaf to pick it up. Now the max number of leaves that you can collect is 9. So my basket is full, and if I try to collect another one, you get this very loud notice that your basket is full. But no worries, because you can delete leaves that you don't want to make more room in your basket. The different colorways also have different probabilities of dropping, and the rarest one only has a 1% chance of dropping. So my favorite thing to do, as you saw from the last footage, is just wait around until the rarest 1% leaf drops. I like to click behind the tree to see if there are any leaves that I can't see that are back there. Even if I don't see it, if I click on it, I can pick it up. I love the little leaves. I think they came out even better than I expected. And that's my little game. This is my second mini game that I've made, my second practice project to get myself to learn game dev. And I feel like this is also the first game that I've made that feels at least somewhat like a game. My last game felt a lot more static because the gameplay comprised of just basically clicking on 3 different things in the right order, and that's it. Nothing happens when you click anything else. But in this game, there's a lot of freedom. You can collect whatever leaves you want, and there are many possibilities for what your basket might look like. I also think that it's just a much better looking game. I wanted to make an isometric kind of game for my last game, but I just didn't know how to. This time I figured it out, and it was so easy, literally just clicking on an option in a drop down. And I think that upgraded the aesthetic. In my last game, I went for an unshaded look because I was intimidated by all the lighting and shading options. But for this game, I was brave enough to try to dip my toes into that. But probably the biggest visual upgrade is all these subtle animations that I put in the game. I have the grass that is swaying, I have the tree with the leaves that are also swaying, I have particles drifting across the screen, and I also added a idle animation, a very subtle one for the character, so that she's moving a little bit even when she's just standing still. I used to not understand why games had idle animations like that before, where the player is just kind of like breathing heavy while they're just standing still, but now I understand it. It just makes the game feel so much less static, even when nothing's going on, because there's still movement. That being said, I would say that with this game, I felt like I went much slower than I could have. I honestly got kind of lazy and bored with it, if I'm being honest. So it was kind of hard to keep up the motivation to see it till the end. And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy working on the game. Obviously, you guys saw how delighted I was from simply importing a new 3D asset into my game. But honestly, it was hard to feel motivated about finishing this game. And what really pushed me through till the end was simply just me trying to keep my word to myself that I would finish this game. And I think that it's mainly because I know that this is a practice game. It's not a real game that I'm gonna put out there into the world and people will play it and people will buy it. It's just simply for me dipping my toes into game dev. I think that's an important part of what motivates me, honestly, to create, is the excitement and thrill of putting it out there into the universe, creating something that could possibly be of value to other people. And because that wasn't the case for this project, I got pretty lazy and I skipped a lot of things that I think would have been nice to have. For example, I didn't try too hard with the UI here. I think it could have looked a lot better. The leaves, when they disappear, their shadow lingers behind them like a ghost, and I didn't bother fixing that. On the right side panel here, the leaf colors are off because the shading and coloring of these photos is different from that of the actual game, so the colors look a little muddy, but I didn't bother to fix that. I also meant to have an end state of some sort, like a button that you can click so that you can end the game and finalize your leaf collection and replay so you can start a new run, because I don't know, maybe you're trying to speed run this game. And there are a bunch of other things like that that I was just too lazy to get to. So next time my goal is to basically be more locked in. And I think that that will come with working on a game that I actually care about, because I believe in it and also because I'll be putting it out there into the world. So I'm very excited about my next project. I feel like it's time to graduate from practice projects and move on to the real thing. And with that, Thank you guys so much as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.